night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's that?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brain.
Who's your daddy? We're your daddy. Welcome to Final Guys. Tonight's main feature is Come to Daddy. I'm Jack, and with me, as usual, my two father figures, Jason and Hunter. What's up, daddies?
I'm a McHattie daddy.
McHattie daddy. I like that. That's all right.
If I was a McHattie daddy, I don't think my kids would be living with me. Run screaming in the night.
Do you have an above ground Ponty pool in your backyard?
Ponty pool.
All right. Welcome to the horror podcast, everybody. We're going to talk about Come to Daddy in a little while. But anything to cover before we jump into everything?
You know what? I have a new column up at Cemetery Dance Online. So because I've talked about Day of the Animals for 2 weeks in a row, I might talk about it now. But that was part of my homework for a column, my new column about 70s animal revenge flicks. So go on to Cemetery Dance Online, check out my Video Visions column.
Excellent. We got a new Monster Man up about Bigfoot movies too.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, nice. I forgot to mention last week we have a new episode of So Bad It's Good on Mosquito, the legendary 1995 movie that is ridiculous. And I also finally finished my blog post about how to successfully give away free copies of your book. It took me freaking ever. So
I have to tell you, I just recently purchased a book about email marketing and selling online, and it costs $8 for a 58-page book. Right? I read it in half a number two. Your post was there's no fat on it, and you just got right down to it, and it's like, here's where you go, here are the numbers I got, here are the returns on it. That was worth way more and gave way more information than that book. So you should just pull it down and sell it.
Well,
stretch it out a little bit.
It was something I wish I'd had when I'd started. Was
start with the parable,
data,
and then go into the numbers, and you got a book.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So there you go.
This group here is
books. You'll make
pounding out the content. So you're welcome, world.
Yeah, really. There's so much out there. At least this week.
All right. So before we get going, there's a drinking game that one of the finalists in our chat room during the live cast provides for us. And so if you hear one of these words, you got to drink. So Hunter, you got the drinking words?
I'm ready. And thank you, Sharon, as always. And really thank you for the poop emojis that separate each of the drinking words.
Yes, very
apropos. If Jack says humor England, as in Robert England, or Elijah, you must tip it back. If I say greasy daddy poop, those are three different words, but you can put them together. Kind of sounds like colitis. You drink. Jason, if you say funny, alcoholic, or rock, people got to knock back a few rocks. And the bonus are, if anyone says rap, pen, and wood with a capital W, you got to drink. Yeah.
Words was
I want to rock.
Rock!
All right.
House on the
Rocks.
Rocks.
I think I know what he's talking about.
Love on the Rocks? Ain't no surprise.
Oh, I was thinking more a Stephen McHattie throwing a rock at Elijah Wood's head. That actually made me laugh.
I did it like 4 times, so good work.
There you
You
go.
can see the siren?
Yeah, I do.
There's trouble coming.
Yeah.
Or the Ghostbusters. I don't know.
Jack's meth lab is finally getting busted.
I was gonna say they caught his cooking operation finally.
Jesse, we gotta get out of here. I am the one who knocks. All right. I have got some awesome freaking news.
Yes.
Kevin Smith is doing a revival of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's going to be on Netflix. The voice cast has been announced, and it's awesome. Mark
Really?
Hamill. Mark Hamill is going to be Skeletor. Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to be Tila. I'm only going to touch on the famous people. Like
Right.
a guy named Chris Wood from Supergirl's He-Man, Prince Adam.
Wood! You
I
said
don't
wood!
It's not my word. Lena Headey from Game of Thrones is Evil Lynn.
Damn.
Stephen Root is Cringer. Alicia Silverstone is Queen Marlena. Henry Rollins is Triclops.
Jesus.
Tony Todd is Scareglow. Jason Mewes is Stinkgore. Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, is going to play Elena. I don't know who that is. And the original
I don't
Skeletor.
even know who many. I mean,
the original Skeletor, Alan Oppenheimer, is going to play Moss Man. Which, thank God, because I'm like, why isn't the original Skeletor doing Skeletor? He's the greatest voice in cartoons. If you ever want to see something great, there's like a He-Man Christmas special where Skeletor gets stuck with these kids and he starts to become like good and he hates it. It's like, no, I'm becoming good. It's so funny.
I don't remember that. I watched the shit out of
Justin
He-Man when I was a
Long,
kid.
Roboto. I don't know a lot of these characters.
Who's Fisto? That was
let's
always
see
my
if we got
favorite
that in
character
there.
name.
Fisto?
Fisto. He
I've
had a
actually
giant
never
fist.
watched an episode of He-Man, so this is all new to me.
I love He-Man.
Fisto.
I was older than clearly the target audience, but I used to like babysit my friends' kids and watch it with them. And then I worked at a supermarket, and me and a couple other guys were all into weightlifting, and so we loved He-Man. So like we'd watch He-Man and lift and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
So I love
Slapping each other
He-Man.
with towels,
Yeah, Frolic.
comparing banana hammocks.
So anyway, I don't know when that's coming out, but
Well, at least it's a cartoon. You know, are they going to be smoking weed?
probably it's Kevin
What
Smith.
direction is this going to go in?
They were going to do a live action movie for like the last
That's
10 years. I
still-
wonder whatever happened to it.
In the rumor mill.
Dolph
But,
Lundgren can't get fit for it.
That live action He-Man was such a letdown. They deviated so much from the TV show. But now you have like, if you watch Thor Ragnarok, now you're like, oh yes, now that they're ready to do a He-Man movie now. You got to do it like that. I hear dogs. Dog Ragnarok.
Get those dogs, Fisto.
Okay, so we all know that there was a Child's Play reboot with Mark Hamill as Chucky,
Yes,
but there's also going to be a Chucky TV show with the original gang.
which I'm looking forward to.
Jennifer Tilly has been told that she is going to be in the Chucky TV show. So she's not sure how many episodes she's going to be in, but she's going to be in it. So
She
I
has
think,
to be in it. You know?
but she wasn't really in that last movie, except was she in it at the very end?
Towards the end. I'm just watching Jason with the
What are you doing?
I don't know if somebody's breaking into my house because my dogs are
Yeah,
going
that's more
insane.
than usual right now.
I think I muted it so it shouldn't be audible on the podcast, I hope. But they're just going nuts. So I'm like half wondering if I need to check
Police
the
are coming
door.
on one screen for Jack. You have criminals on
This
yours.
is going to be like
If I
one of those
disappear, that's why.
like Unfriended or one of those
Exactly.
horror movies where everybody's online.
I'm gonna get consumed by bats in my belfry. This is gonna be crazy.
Uh,
We're such pros.
so I haven't seen Jennifer Tilly in a while, but the what's that movie? The Getaway remake with Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger was on a couple of weeks ago,
Right.
and
Oh yeah.
she's Michael Madsen's girlfriend, and but that was one of those movies that was on like HBO like 24 hours a day for like 2 years of my life. So I saw it a million times, and suddenly like I heard her doing that frantic scream, and I had like this visceral memory flashback to like those. Oh, that's right.
Well, look, watch her in what's that? Midnight at the Blue Iguana or whatever.
No,
She's a
there's
stripper.
the one with her and Gina Gershon.
Oh, Bound.
Bound.
That's an incredible movie. That's a really good movie. Aside from the obvious hand clap moments.
Slow hand clap.
It's a good movie too.
Whatever happened to Jennifer Tilly? Meg Tilly? What happened to Meg Tilly? Her hot sister from The Big Chill and Psycho 2.
I think The Big Chill was 40 years ago.
It's only 40 years ago.
Good heavens.
Okay, the next piece of news. This is for you too, because you're literate.
Okay, we'll try. People who listen to this in audio, you're missing Jason's face while he's suffering through his dogs losing their minds.
I might have to.
Be nice.
He never says anything funny during the news anyway.
But does the dog die? All right.
Are you familiar with the book A Head Full of Ghosts?
Paul Tremblay. Yes, very much so.
Well, Scott Cooper has been signed on to direct the movie. A psychological horror.
Who is Scott Cooper?
Scott Cooper used to play third base for the Red Sox, but other than that, I don't know who Scott Cooper. Let's see.
Bradley Cooper's.
Oh, and Robert Downey Jr. is executive producing.
All right. I only know Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Dolittle. Not sure what else he's done.
So let's see. Cooper recently directed Hostels with Christian Bale, helmed Black Mass with Johnny Depp, and Out of the Furnace with Christian Bale. Oh, and the star of the movie is going to be, where the hell's her name? Margaret Qualley, who was the Manson chick that Brad Pitt picked up in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, Dirty Feet girl.
Pussycat, yeah. She's going to be the lead. So you read that book?
I read that book. I read that book in one day on New Year's Day. That book is so good.
Okay, so you know the book Head Full of Ghosts?
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a killer book.
It's funny. I thought they'd already started filming the movie for some reason, but... Yep.
Paul Tremblay. I actually met him at Scares of Care. Super nice guy. Very tall.
And he's a math teacher.
I'll tell you what, that actress...
I think he was taller
that
than
actress was so good in Once Upon a Time. The way she flips once she gets to the ranch.
And the Spawn Ranch. That should have been best movie of the year, by the way.
No way.
I think so.
It's good. A lot of flaws.
I don't care.
He doesn't care. All right.
It doesn't really matter.
Couldn't give a
busy
shit
watching
about the
Mosquito
Oscars.
dancing in front of a green screen.
Yeah, I'm watching actual movies, okay?
The last piece of news needs to be credited to Joaquin Oliveira, our pal, for posting the new Stranger Things trailer on our Facebook group page.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you. And the big reveal there is that Hop is still alive and in Russia. So
wait, Hop died?
Listen.
You know what? Honestly, I have not seen the last 2 episodes of the last season, but everyone's told me, so it doesn't matter.
You really didn't finish it?
No, I completely lost interest. I did not like that season.
I just don't know about you sometimes.
I know. We all have our tastes.
It's concerning. I did see the article he posted about there being parallels with The Thing, and I rewatched the little teaser they released, and am I crazy or am I just like not seeing it?
I didn't read that article, and so I don't know what it said, but it
seemed like a stretch, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb. Most likely I'm just dumb. But...
Yeah, that's probably it.
There's no release date yet for Stranger Things, but thanks, Joaquin. You the man.
Yeah, you the stranger man.
Yeah.
And we all know about the stranger here.
That is all the news that's fit to print. Jason, you've got something for us.
Well, a friend of the show, Lucas Milleron? I don't know how to say that.
We're not good with names in this show.
Yeah, I'm the worst. He has a new book coming out that, oddly enough, he named after what you call Hunter before he gets into our Skype conversations every time.
Go ahead.
Aptly titled Cocksucker.
Cocksucker!
Which, let me tell you, if that makes you think this book is going to be insane, you are incorrect. This book is 10 times more over the top than the title. I could not. He sent us copies. When you guys get to him, I'll be able to know because I'll get an email from you within 5 seconds. Because the first page is madness. And from there, it just gets crazier. If you like some incest in your books, if you like some skunk ape rapes,
I think didn't I invent skunk
He
ape
stole that.
Yeah,
Son of a bitch.
exactly. I was thinking about you the whole time I'm reading it. He has I couldn't think of what it was. It was a chupacabra in it.
Oh, damn it.
It is just. So it was published by Grindhouse Press. If you've ever read anything of theirs, this fits. This fits in. If you like extreme horror, I'll put it this way: you are gonna freaking love this book. It is as extreme as I've read in a very, very long time.
Wow.
So I think it just came out yesterday. So actually, the timing of us talking about it ends up working out pretty well.
And if you want a book that's a great conversation starter for your coffee table, seems like a nice thing
around there.
I was thinking, take it on your Kindle, leave it open, and then just put it on your desk and go to the bathroom while people are walking by for lunch or something, and see how quickly you get called to HR.
get the paperback and read it on a plane.
There you go. I was thinking that this book was a Catholic catechism for nuns, so I was wrong in my assessment of this book. All right.
You were wrong.
I'm thinking I'll be happily surprised.
You weren't as far off as maybe you would think.
Oh, my God.
With some of the content, that is. So, Lucas, a nice job. And Grindhouse Press, I think I actually just heard they're going to be... They might be at Scares a Care or something. So, I'm going to have to go to their table and see if they're all as crazy as he is.
Yeah, really. This sounds awesome, though. Right up my alley.
Oh, this is such a Hunter book. My God.
Incest, chupacabras. Come on.
You and Steve Barnard, man. This is for you guys.
Awesome.
All right, so let's switch gears and talk about what we watched this week.
We have such sights to show you.
All right. I got some good stuff, but as usual, we got to go to Jason first because get a lifer.
Get out the poison.
Well, I'm making up for last week when I only had 2 things. I went deep this week, unfortunately for me, but hopefully for you guys it'll be a little better. My quest to watch every horror series ever continues on. I decided I'm just going to pick the first one that appears on my Amazon list on my Fire TV. And what do you know? It was Species 2. I just watched the original, and was it last summer, maybe in the fall, with Natasha Henstridge and her amazing talents. But I realized I'd never seen the second one. Fortunately, Natasha Henstridge is back, still a 10 in this. The movie's not that great. I don't know if did you guys ever see this?
Yeah.
I did see it. I don't remember much about it except that yes, she's still a 10.
Yeah, still a 10. She's a lot less naked in it, but there is still one scene, so thank you for that.
If I recall that scene, she's got blood on her.
Covering
I don't
bits?
think so. No, at least not at the beginning.
Bloody bits?
But
I feel like there was bloody bits in that movie. I could be wrong.
so what kind of ruins Species for most people is the end. The CG is so god awful that it just makes the rest of the movie feel like crap, even though it's a competent film up till that point. In this, they get rid of most of the bad CG, but it's just not as good. Like the story's not quite as good. There's a lot less Natasha topless scenes, so but it's better in some ways. Some of the practical effects are pretty good, but that's probably about it. If you really like the first one, this continues the series on pretty quickly after the end of the first one with all the main characters back. So
oh wow,
wait, so the original cast is in this?
Yes,
I totally
Michael
forgot
Madsen.
Jesus, do they have nude pictures on them?
Except Alfred Molina's not in it.
So it's worth a watch. I caught this on Tubi TV. It was an app I downloaded for free. It just puts ads in.
Yeah, I watch tons of stuff on that now.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing more of that. So, Species 2.
All right.
So how many species are there?
4. Guess who's talking about all 4 today?
Oh boy, you're amazing.
I'm combining the last 2. It'll take about 10 seconds.
You're amazing.
All right, Hunter, what you got for us?
You watch Tubi TV. I watch Tubby Time TV.
Jesus.
So I've been doing a theme lately. So the theme this week is Australia. So I watched this movie, Wake in Fright. Now I've seen it for sale at the Alamo all the time. I have it on Blu-ray, and it stars Donald Pleasance. So I'm like, oh, all right, I'm gonna check this out. This is like in the early '70s, and it's this teacher who teaches in like this. The schoolhouse is maybe the size of this attic here, and it's every age, and it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. School term's over. It's Christmas time, even though it's like 110 degrees every day. But there, it's Christmas time, and he's going to go to Sydney to see his girlfriend. Gets on this rickety train. He's kind of like this very pretty boy. Kind of looks like a very handsome Peter O'Toole. And he's above everybody because he's educated and he's out in the outback with all these bumpkins and losers and alcoholics. And along the way, he stops in this little town. The town sheriff, I think it is, takes him under his wing, and all these people do is drink nonstop and gamble. And this guy ends up drinking and losing all of his freaking money. I mean, he's utterly penniless. So he ends up hooking up with some weird drunk dude and his bizarre daughter who he tries to have sex with. And then that just follows his path into this de-evolution of a man where he is now one of these people, dirty, drunk, pissing himself, and hanging out with Donald Pleasance, who was a former doctor alcoholic, who's beyond crazy in this. If you ever want to see a topless Donald Pleasance,
Yes, please.
this is it.
And speaking of enormous talents,
There's a scene in it when they are very drunk. I mean, like more alcohol than you could ever imagine drinking, and they're wrestling in this tin shed he lives in, and you go, "What? They just had sex?" It's
Really?
Yeah. This is on Shudder right now. This is another one of those movies. I've been kind of wanting to see this. I don't get the horror other than real life horror of this is what can happen to, like, this is how close we are from civilized to just down and out and mainly an animal. So I think it was really cool. It makes you hot, sweaty, makes you want a beer. Oh, and if you are not into watching a long scene of actual kangaroos getting slaughtered, just don't watch it. That's the trigger warning. If you're not into kangaroo slaughters, don't watch.
You're on a hell of a stretch of movies where they kill actual animals.
I
during
know,
filming.
rabbits, everything. But yeah, this one,
What's next? Apocalypse Now?
it was crazy. I'm gonna watch Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, good.
Fuck you, turtles. So yeah, Wake and Fright, check it out. It's worth the watch.
I've heard of that movie. I don't think I've ever seen it, but it's one of those ones that I've always been aware of. All right, I finally watched Ma. Meatloaf. Jason, you nailed this one. All I'm going to do is repeat what you said. It's a much better movie than you expect it to be. It's not a great movie, but it's fine. I'm glad I waited for HBO, and it entertained me for the night, and I enjoyed it. The trailer gives away everything, and stuff I saw in the trailer that I thought was going to happen early turned out to be more like the climax of the movie. That's what surprised me. Like, wait a minute. But then like Dr. Bellows when something weird happened. Little I Dream of Jeannie reference for the old folks out there.
Like, all right, Dr. Bellows.
So it's definitely worth a watch if you're flicking around and you want to watch something. But yeah, shame on that trailer. I guess that's the only way to sell the movie, but there's still a couple.
It's ridiculous.
Basically, it's about a bunch of this girl moves back to her mom's old town, hooks up with her new friends. They're trying to buy beer. They get an adult to buy it, and what's her name? Octavia Spencer, I think, or
Yes.
Yeah.
She ends up buying them beer, and she invites them back to her place to party, and she's like the adult that lets the kids party there, but she's kind of psycho. So stalky things happen.
Yeah, stocky things. There you go.
Did you pay to watch it? Did you?
No. I waited this sucker out. I was like, I'm not spending to see this, and then the minute it hit HBO, so I paid for it in my subscription.
Right.
But there was no way I was going to pay for something instead of just waiting a couple of months and watching it. So I'm happy to have watched it as part of a subscription. I don't think it was worth a pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's why.
Particularly not when you know the ending.
Gee, did they give it away? Yeah,
They
I had
don't
no
give
desire
away
to say that.
specifically the ending, but there's a lot of stuff in the climax that's given away. So
Yeah.
don't watch the trailer if you haven't already seen it, or just be ready for a little more of a buildup. But there's a lot of people. It's what's her name? Juliette Lewis. She's like,
Is she
when
white
she's-
trash mom?
Yes. When she's like,
Yeah.
you know, you're getting old when she's playing the mom now.
Yeah. She's ready to be a gilf.
It's been a long time since From Dusk Till Dawn. It's been like 25 years.
I even go back to like Cape Fear.
Old school.
That was 92. Oh my god. That was
Yeah, it's pretty close to the same time.
Just having some orgy friends over.
All right. On the heels of Species 2, I watched Species 3 and Species 4, The Awakening. Did not know going in until I started, and I was like, well, this looks like shit. What's wrong? Yeah, they're both sci-fi original movies.
Oh, yeah.
So-
I've seen, I think, the third.
Oh.
Yeah, shot on video. Natasha Henstridge is in the third one for about 45 seconds.
Okay, good for her.
Yeah, and it was shot in the early 2000s, so it has that terrible digital video look all cheap movies from that era had.
There's
And I'm
a
just-
Dracula
ugh.
3000 with Casper Van Dien and Julio that has that same aesthetic.
I hate that. Anytime the camera pans, it just looks like crap.
Yep.
So, saved a little bit by some nudity. Jack would love some very attractive ladies in this. So they got that right. The story is very small. It's basically about a professor who's trying to breed this alien species now for a reason I don't really understand. It doesn't really matter. So, yeah, he and a student are trying to contain this outbreak of violent, sexy women. It's not very good. You probably shouldn't watch it.
Violent, sexy women.
This is almost like the same blueprint as the Return of the Living Deads, where suddenly there was a couple of sequels that looked like they were made for the Sci-Fi Channel. They were made back to back and were just like nothing like the original ones.
So I'm also going to throw in Species 4. Yeah, don't watch it.
Shock.
Even less of the good parts of the Species series. Less nudity, less weird H.R. Geiger-inspired alien sex scenes. Terrible CG action. I mean, terrible CG action. And give it a pass.
Wow.
I had to hunt it down, too. That was not worth my time.
You see, the stuff we watch because we do a podcast is hilarious. If we weren't doing a horror podcast, we would still watch horror movies, but we would never be going this deep and sitting through the stuff that we sit through so that we have something to bring to the table every week.
There is a 0% chance I would have ever watched Species 4 if it was not for the show.
Yeah. I'm not even for the show. I don't give a shit. I'm sticking with Australia. And Jack, I think you saw this. Jason, I think you did. Boar.
Oh, yeah.
I did not see that.
Boar, not Bore. Look, this is very simple. Bunch of Australian people down in Australia and don't know that there is a giant boar the size of a VW van back in the day. More astounding than the CGI and sometimes practical effect boar is the size of the dude in this movie. Do you remember that, Jack?
Yeah, I do.
The woman's brother? That's the largest man I've ever seen. I looked him up. He's 7'1" or something and
God.
380 pounds.
Oh, I think I saw
I'm
an
like,
image of him when I was looking this movie up. Is it the dude from Troy who fights Brad Pitt at the beginning? Like that huge shoulders and...
I could not get over the size of this guy at all. I'm like, that is more crazy to me than this boar. But Boar's a fun movie. I mean, it gives you a cast of characters, all these different people going, well, how are they intersecting? Who cares? You know how they're intersecting? On a boar's tusks. That's how they're intersecting.
That movie just characterizes Australians as people who just bust on each other and drink tons of beer.
Yeah, and you combine that Wake and Fright, and you assume all of them are just they piss their livers right out every day. It's fun though. It's a fun monster movie.
Absolutely.
Just mindless craziness, gore. I thought it was really cool.
Was that on Shudder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get to that if I ever stop watching bad movies.
Yeah, and it's quick. It's not a not like
that pleasant surprise, that one.
Yep. So
nice.
All right, Hunter, I mentioned this to you when I saw you the other day. The Last Broadcast is now on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
This is a movie from, I think, 1998. It actually was made before the Blair Witch Project, but it never really got a release. And the only way I saw it, and I believe, Hunter, you saw it, was to track down like a bootleg copy on YouTube.
Yep. Terrible.
So I watched it years ago. I know we talked about it on Monster Men once. So I was like, oh, it's on Prime. I haven't seen it in years. I'm going to watch it. It was fun to go back and watch this movie. And I think I have the same exact opinion about it that I did the first time I saw it. First of all, it's very interesting to watch a found footage movie that was made before found footage was really a thing. Yep. So it doesn't really adhere to the typical rules and format that the Blair Witch Project sort of laid out for everybody else.
Right.
It actually cheats a little bit in that towards the end, it kind of stops being found footage.
I don't remember that. It's been a long time.
I think it's a really good movie for like 2/3 of the movie. And then it just train wrecks right at the end.
It sure does.
It's just like, you could not botch a landing like much worse than this movie does. But it's really, it's worth watching. It's a fun watch. And I'd only seen it once on YouTube. So it was fun to go back and I rewound the ending a couple of times just to so what exactly? Wow. I just,
yeah, I got to watch that.
Did you say it was on Prime?
It's on Prime. Okay. So that and the Poughkeepsie Tapes both just showed up on Prime. I'm like, wow, the two holy grail movies that you used to have to hunt the internet for, you now can just get on Amazon Prime. I have I think you do too, Hunter, the Blu-ray of Poughkeepsie Tape, because that's the one that I watched. I was like, oh wait, this is like one of the best found footage movies ever. And the Last Broadcast is more like a very interesting chapter in this found footage story.
Yeah, Poughkeepsie Tapes just wrecks everyone I show that to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, destroys them emotionally.
It's a messed up movie.
I'm probably going to pop that in October.
Man.
Yeah, well, now we both have the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Weirdos.
So check out The Last Broadcast. Be ready for a pretty interesting movie that didn't quite stick the landing.
I haven't thought of that movie in a long time, so I'm curious to go back and check it out, because I don't know. I love these, particularly the early found footage movies before all the tropes and terrible shit kind of got into the subgenre.
Yeah.
So The Last Broadcast is in that, obviously, and I'm going to check it out again. It's been a while.
I thought maybe if you're going to remake a movie, maybe this would be a good one to remake, and you could doctor it up a little bit.
Sure.
But
makes sense. All right. I had to wash the taste out of my mouth after Species series. Jeez. So we just picked something on Netflix one night because it had an hour and 20-minute runtime, and I needed to get my ass to bed. It is Sweetheart. And as we started it, it's a Blumhouse film. It just released in December or November or something. I never saw it appear on my Netflix feed or anything. Woman wakes up on an island, stranded. I guess her boat had crashed, and then people slowly start washing ashore on the boat she was with. Some are alive, some are dead, and she starts to see crazy shit on this island. I enjoyed this way more than I expected.
Right?
I thought this was a damn good movie. I was in the whole time. You could tell the budget's very low. You see basically one section of the beach the entire time. When you see the monster, sometimes the CG, it's like, that was a really dark scene and it still looked like shit. but they're working with what they got, and I thought this was very well done. I thought the main actress killed it. I thought the tension was perfect throughout. There weren't big lulls, where you're getting bored. The runtime helped a lot. And the ending is like 50-50 for me. I'm digging it, and it just ends. And I'm like, well, I kind of wanted more of that. So I don't know that I actually
get that.
Can blame the movie for that, for just kind of finding a good spot and stopping. But this was just a great little Netflix gem that I feel like I don't come across that much anymore on there. So hitting this, it was a good one for me.
I think that was number 13 on my top 13 last year because I caught it
made
just
your
before
top
the end.
list.
This might have made mine.
Hey, it's like Creature from the Black Lagoon, kind of, but really mean.
I saw it in time for the list. It didn't make my top list, but it was definitely, like you said, a great Netflix gem. I would recommend watching it, definitely.
It had a terrible name. I would throat punch whoever gave it that name. But
terrible.
Yeah,
name.
I almost passed on it, and it's because her boyfriend calls her sweetheart like once or twice in the middle of the movie.
Sweetheart. Dumb.
What were you thinking?
I know.
That's like in The Shining. They called Danny Doc like once, and then when Scatman Crothers is like,
What's up,
you call him
Doc?
Doc? We call him Doc. I was like, wait, they don't really call him Doc ever.
Doctor. All right. Well, I'm going to finish up with a book. Yes, I hold in my hands Grady Hendrix's Paperbacks from Hell. When this first came out, this was like a book. I'm like, I told everybody, I want this. Nobody bought it for me. I'm like, sons of bitches. And then I didn't buy it for myself because it's special. But my wife bought it for me this past Christmas. And let me tell you, this is over 200 glossy pages of just horror paperback, just golden showers and super climaxes. It's amazing. It's because they break it out by categories. So they have like evil children books and when animals attack books and satanic panic books. And then like every page is like just all these covers that are just, you just want to eat them up. You got to have them. And Hendrix breaks down these subgenres and then he'll tackle maybe one or two books within the subgenre. And some of the explanation, like when he just gives like the breakdown of a book, you're like, how the hell did they write this? And he probably made some decent money on it back in the day. So I highly suggest you pick this up. This will never leave my bedside. This is going to be there all the time as a reference book and a book for me just to thumb through if I'm not feeling my best. I mean, this will be attached at the hip for me. This is one of those books. And the good news is that Paperbacks from Hell, it's so successful that they're bringing back those paperbacks. So there is a series out there right now, and you can go buy them on Amazon. Just do Paperbacks from Hell, and I bought The Nest, and I forget what else. I'm waiting for them to be delivered, so I'm psyched.
Excellent. I can't wait to come over and check that book out.
You're going to love it.
I read one of his fiction novels, We Sold Our Souls, I think, about a rock and roll band who sells their souls for fame and fortune. It was really good.
He's got another one. I have to read his My Best Friend's Exorcism. That's supposed to be amazing.
Guy's got chops.
Yep.
Real quick before we get to the main feature, on Netflix, I watched this show called The Movies That Made Us.
Yeah.
Same people that made, I think, The Toys That Made Us. I've only watched 2 episodes. I'm only going to talk about those because the other ones aren't horror. But I watched one about Ghostbusters, and then right before we came on, I watched the Die Hard one. They're great. They're both like 45 to 50 minutes each, and they just cover the story of how the movie was made. The Ghostbusters one is fascinating. All the stuff about how Belushi was supposed to be in it, Eddie Murphy was supposed to be in it, how Harold Ramis came to do it, stories behind everything. Rick Moranis. Man, you're watching it, you're just reminded of just how freaking gorgeous Sigourney Weaver was, too.
It's a sentence I don't hear every day.
She's so gorgeous in that movie. And she brought like what she brought like, they didn't think she'd do it because she was like a serious actress and she'd done Alien and stuff. And so, but she was like totally into it. She's like, no, I should turn into a dog and stuff like that. But she brought gravitas to the movie too. Anyway, it was really good watch. And then I watched the Die Hard one, and Jesus, that's really good too. So I enjoyed it. So check it out. It's the Movies That Made Us. The other ones are Home Alone and Dirty Dancing. I can't wait to watch the Home Alone one. I love that movie, so I'm gonna check it out. But if horror fans, check out the Ghostbusters one.
Damn.
Yeah, Dirty Dancing I could do without.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's a decent movie. You shut your face.
Nobody puts Jason in a corner.
That's right. Kick your ass.
she's like the wind.
Oh, God.
My wife will beat the hell out of you.
I'm sure.
right.
You know what? She could. I'm not even going to question that.
All right, I got one more movie. I'm going to keep it.
Oh,
are you done? I'm sorry.
I'm done. I wanted to go to
Jason made up for like lost
I did.
time.
I did.
Last week you
I
hardly
wanted to
had
keep
any.
it short. I want this to be a main feature, so I'm not going to go too far into it. But I caught a movie called I See You that was recommended to me, starring Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
I think it just came out
I've
recently.
seen the trailer.
Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The story is so well done. It's the best script of the year so far of anything I've seen.
Really?
100% worth it. Check it out. Hopefully we'll do it in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I
On the
watched the
watch
trailer,
list.
but I didn't. Never got around to hitting purchase, so I'll have to check it out.
Really good. Early contender so far for the...
All right, let's. Yeah,
Towards top of
we'll
my
save
list.
it and do it as a feature on a slow week.
Hell yeah, I'm done.
Cool. All right, let's go to the main feature.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Sirens are back, and so are we.
By the way, can I just sit this part? Like I already did my review 2 weeks ago. Can I just chill and watch you guys? No,
I'm going to say
No.
this.
Sure. All right. I'll interject. Fine.
When we agree, we really agree, and sometimes we really disagree. This one you nailed. Good call.
Peace. Peace, brother.
Come to Daddy with Elijah Wood. Wow. What a movie.
How do we describe this movie? From the man who brought you the
Hunter,
Greasy Strangler.
Tell us about this movie.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Elijah Wood is a strange-looking man with a weird mushroom bowl haircut and facial hair and clothes. Anyway.
It's like the king of the hipsters.
Oh, like the artsy hipsters. He's straight from Velvet Buzz. So.
Yeah, privileged upbringing.
At least that's his
Douchebag.
So he got a letter in the mail, I believe, from his father, his estranged father, who wants to see him to discuss something with him. So he goes to his father's cliffside house, this round UFO-looking house that's on the rocks there by the water. And he has no idea why he's there. He doesn't have any special love for his father, the man who left him, I think, 15 years earlier. So he goes there, he knocks on the door, and who answers but a very drunk, super insane Stephen McHattie, who is just, if regular Stephen McHattie's at a 9, he's at like a 12 in this movie, like terrifying. So he takes him in, and it's just like a couple of days of just, you never know whether McHattie's going to hug him, have a drink with him, throw him out off a cliff, shoot him. He's not sure where he stands. There is a phenomenal scene with a deal we'll talk about later. Deals with Elton John, which I thought was the best scene in the movie. And I don't want to go much further, but at one point they're having a fight, and McHattie's going to stab him and kill him, and something out of the blue happens, and you think you know where things go, but there's something underneath the house that changes everything. And it's a movie with so many bizarre twists and such a sick black sense of humor. We're going to have to ring the bell early if we're going to really get.
I got
into
it here. We're ready to go as soon as we get through.
Because you need to spoil the shit out of this to talk about it.
Yes. So, Jason, what's your first impressions overall?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one of those movies, I think, if you don't appreciate the humor of it, you're going to be like, well, I don't understand what everybody's talking about. But I found it hilarious. So I dug it. I was in the whole time. Even though at the beginning, I was a little wary. First, when I saw his haircut, Elijah Wood's haircut, I'm like, oh, Jesus. And then
what is this?
Right when the movie's starting, there are about 97 credits for companies or countries involved in the making of this movie. It lasted, I think I skipped like 3 minutes in or something before like the movie started because there were so many weird production companies involved.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh God, I don't know. And then once Stephen McHattie shows up, I'm like, this guy's got my heart. Anything he's in, except for that unfortunate turn in Rabid.
I was going to say just about anything.
Yeah, the humor really hits with me, and it makes the bizarre violent parts stand out even more. So I really enjoyed it. I thought this was a damn good movie.
I agree. I loved this movie. This movie, I actually paused it a couple of times to see how far I was in. And basically, it's an hour and a half, and basically it's 3 acts. You've got a half hour of one thing, then it changes gears. You get another half hour, and then it changes gears roughly around. So if you are watching the beginning of this movie and you feel like maybe it's slow or whatever, just hang in there, because it's enough to get it to where to A to B to C, and you will never guess, like you said, Hunter, when it changes gears the first time, you didn't see that coming, and then when it changes gears the next time, you didn't see that coming. Yep. So, and it just keeps getting better and better, and the climax of this movie just like put it over the top for me, because I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Oh wow, this is getting interesting. And by the end, I'm like, oh damn, the bar is now set very high for this year.
Yeah, exactly. Right out of the gate, something huge.
It's
huge in a weird way. Like, you have to be. This is not for the normies.
No.
This is for the hardcore addicts, the horror addicts. This is our movie.
I'd say mostly, but I think you could slip this one in to, I don't know.
I think if Quentin Tarantino, if his name was on it, people say yes. Ant Timpson, no. It's not going to, like, people feel comfortable knowing, oh, Quentin, oh yeah, Gimp. Yeah, that's funny.
It shifts genres about 17 times too. You know,
yeah.
It's like, it looks like it's gonna be torture porn for a minute, then it's like Japanese horror for a little while, then it's a Tarantino film. You know, it's just all over the map with what this movie is. So I think some people, I actually saw Joe Bob Briggs reviewed it, and he was not a very big fan of this.
Really? Wow, the hell with
surprised
him. What
me.
Does he know about horror?
Well, he spent like his whole review was kind of shitting on it, and then he gave it 2.5 out of 4 stars, so he didn't hate it. But
no, he definitely didn't.
The dynamic between Elijah Wood and McHattie is awesome, and just watching those two, and McHattie toying with him, and then Elijah Wood just going through everything he's going through.
When he starts calling cunt over and over.
Oh my God.
That scene was just amazing.
When that was going on, there was a palpable tension in my movie theater. Because that's just not a word you throw around.
He said it like 90
that's right.
times.
You saw it in the theater.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
So good. So, yeah, I don't think there's any way we could talk much more about this without spoiling it. So I'd say...
Well, yeah, it's a must-watch for horror.
It's a must-watch.
Must-watch.
Must-watch. Normies aren't listening to this show, so if you listen to the show, see this damn movie.
By the way, if you're going to gift this movie to somebody, I highly suggest you do what the Alamo did, and you get melted chocolate, put it in a plastic bag with a pen, seal it up, and give it to them with the movie, so they have their own shit pen to go with the movie.
Oh.
That leads us right into spoilers.
There we go. The bell has rung.
Okay, I don't even know where to start. Somebody start.
Well, I mentioned earlier that I love the part where Elijah Wood is out in the lake and he's swimming, and this giant rock hits the water right beside his head, and Stephen McHattie's just standing on the shore looking at him. I was like, whoa. And then about 5 minutes later, you find out why. You know, it's not as well. I guess not 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, he tries to kill him.
Yes, but then has a heart attack and dies.
Yeah. You know what? Let's break it up into like the acts. So let's talk first about Elijah Wood gets there.
Right.
He's got his designer iPhone, gold iPhone. Very proud of himself. McHattie starts digging into him, and like you said, calls him out on his Elton John story.
Okay, because Elijah Wood's trying to sound like he's big in the music scene and everything, and he knows Elton John, and Stephen McHattie goes, "Hey, Elton, I know Elton. I was his driver for 10 years. Let's call him up." He totally calls his bluff.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It was brilliant.
And then McHattie's getting angrier and more sinister or threatening as the days go by, and it's getting more, like you said. He throws a rock at him. He's afraid at night. That's what's going on, and everything like that. Until McHattie basically attacks him, and so now you're like, "What the hell?" And then, as you said, he freaking has a heart attack and dies. So the movie changes gears to now it's like the coroner's office is flooded or something. So they treat the body and then bring it back.
Yeah, you got to keep the body there.
So then you have this little section where it's Elijah Wood with the dead body, and is he being haunted? He's definitely disturbed by the presence, and he's starting to stalk the coroner chick who he's got a crush on.
Oh, yeah.
And so you have this little period of quiet movie with just Elijah Wood in a dead body in a house.
But also, you don't know if the body is... Where is this movie going? Because there are times when the body is moving.
Yeah, that was the
when
part
it comes back in the
that
room.
felt like a Japanese horror film to me. It's like the Ju-on kind of stuff. It just was, I was like, whoa, this is turning into a haunted house movie all of a sudden. No.
And he sleeps with him.
That was it. When he unzips the freaking body bag and then McHattie's head turns.
Right.
This is all great stuff. And then changes gears again.
Well, yeah, before that gear changes, he thinks the house is being haunted because he keeps hearing sounds in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's assuming it's his dad haunting the house.
And it is. Ha 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 ha.
Dude, whenever you give me a movie where somebody pulls a rug away and there's a round trap door and a ladder going down, oh my God, I got so excited.
Do you know what I don't do if I find that in the living room? I don't go down it.
You don't go down?
Nope.
See,
because
I'm the idiot.
After hearing all those noises and I see that, I'm like, yeah, there's someone down there. I'm not going down there. That's not happening.
See, but if I'm Elijah Wood, I know that I could cut them in two with my piercing blue eyes. So I fear nothing.
So he does go down the hole. And there he finds his real father chained up and beaten to a pulp.
By his best friend.
And he warns him that this guy's coming back. And then he's got to hide. And when the guy comes, he's got to kill him.
Yep.
And Elijah Wood does not look like a killer.
Not at all.
No, he doesn't.
So,
and this is where the shit pen comes in.
So you had prepared us for this. So once the guy starts talking about the pen, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Because his concept was, he goes, I took a shit in this bag and I stuck this pen in my shit. I'm going to stab you in the gut with my shit pen and let the infection kill you slowly.
It's the most novel idea for
really
murder
bad.
I've heard in a very long time.
And you're like, oh my God, he's not actually going to stab him with that pen. Oh, yeah, he is. Several times.
Shit pen.
Yeah, I mean, well, that goes back to the warriors that would dip their spears in shit. So then when they...
That's right. Plague blankets. Oh my God. Love
so
that.
That happens. Elijah Wood does not successfully kill the guy who tries to kill his father, but he does chase him away eventually.
Yeah, which is weird. That was weird too.
And he breaks his father out clumsily. That scene's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They go back upstairs. Now this was a little. The trailer gave away a little bit. They go back upstairs thinking that this guy's going to come back with somebody else, but the other guy's already there, but he's taking a dump.
Yes.
And Elijah Wood interrupts him. So they have a hilarious fight with the guy's like pants down.
Trailing the paper.
Some great ball stabbing in there.
Yeah, and with a barbecue fork and a roll of Reynolds wrap, he defeats this like big Samoan looking guy or something.
barbecue fork in the balls over and over again. Every guy in the theater went, oh, like everyone was like, oh, we all grabbed our nuts. Please.
And now the movie is now in like fifth gear. It doesn't slow down for the rest of the movie. The guy comes back with a friggin' flaming crossbow.
By the way, he looks like a creepy pimp-looking kind of guy. He
looks like a Spinal Tap roadie.
It's bad.
Absolutely. Absolutely, that's what he looks like.
So Elijah Wood and the father are now like hiding on the beach. As the guy's like, but the guy gets Elijah Wood's name and an address from the luggage tag. So they have no choice, but they have to try and stop this guy or he's going to kill his mother. So Elijah Wood hides in the guy's car in the trunk and is taken to a hotel where the guy's going to have sex with a dominant, like female bodybuilder, like femdom. I don't know.
Yeah, there was
Hunter,
something going on there that was weird. She had him in a headlock.
I hope he got her with a Groupon.
That's right. It was like a headlock thing. And he has a weird encounter with the guy at the front desk of the hotel. And now you spent most of the time at the beach house, and now suddenly you're at this motel where there's like a convention going on. I forget what kind of convention it is. So
it was a swingers convention.
They kept calling it like anthropologists or something like that.
Yeah, but they were swingers.
Yeah, it was just an orgy in the hotel.
So this whole climax of the movie in the motel, I loved like every minute of this thing.
Yeah.
It just kept getting crazier and crazier. And I was so freaking satisfied with the ending of this movie. Just going so over the top. Like I said, you never could have seen that coming.
No, it just kept escalating, getting weirder and weirder.
Well, yeah, all of a sudden there are naked people everywhere. There's a dominatrix. There's like facial mutilation. Like
there's man penis.
There's a lot of hanging brain at one point.
By the way, the Spinal Tap guy is Michael Smiley. Remember him from Kill List?
I haven't seen Kill List yet. That's on my to-do list. I heard that's great.
I haven't seen it either.
I just watch it. I'm going to save it for next week. He's also in Free Fire and The Lobster.
Should I watch it for next week so we can both talk about it, or do you want it just for yourself?
No, I think we should share. We should share the Kill List.
Oh, you're syncing up again.
Yep. And if you make fun of us, you're going to be on our list.
I've heard a lot of good things about that movie.
Same.
It's a classic.
So now the guys who made The Greasy Strangler made this, right?
That is correct, sir.
I like that they have like a thread of zaniness through this movie, but they kind of made this a little bit more mainstream.
Reined it in enough.
Reined it in.
Well, the director was the producer of Greasy Strangler, and he ran a film festival for years that dealt with all these weird like movies. Like Pink Flamingos would probably be a normal movie for that. So that's where his headspace is, which I think is kind of cool. So now I want to watch Greasy Strangler again.
That makes one of us.
I want to watch the Elijah Wood Maniac even more now. Just watch Maniac, and now I watch this, and I'm like, Elijah Wood is the man. I mean, he is just like he is a horror fan with the clout to make horror movies, and he's everything he touches seems to work.
Didn't his production
get
good?
No, his production company I don't think did this, but
no.
If we could combine him with Mike Flanagan, Jesus Christ, the world might explode. I mean, really.
I was going to say, didn't his Spectrovision, I think, is his production company? Didn't they do Color Out of Space as well? I think so.
I think
that's him.
Yeah.
So he does a lot of weird stuff with that company, but he's doing some cool stuff too.
You guys saw him in Cooties, right?
Yeah.
That's a fun ass movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's putting just the right amount of money into the most bizarre projects that would never get made otherwise.
God bless him.
So yeah,
He's great.
this is a fun movie. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. This is, by the way, it's number one on my list because it's the only one on my list right now for 2020. But let me tell you, like I said, if this gets knocked out of my top 5 by the end of the year, that means this is a stellar year to come. So let's see.
This is going to be in the top 10. If it's not in the top 5, this is going to be the best year in horror ever. If that,
Yeah.
I could see it not being number 1, which it is right now because there's no competition. Hansel and Gretel didn't quite dethrone it.
No, did not.
Oh God damn.
But yeah, I'm looking for it now. We haven't decided officially. We've got The Lodge coming out, and we've got VFW.
Well, The Lodge isn't out near me, so I can't do that.
Yeah, so it's VFW, baby. We're going to be drinking with the vets.
Okay, so VFW on Amazon Prime is next week's movie.
Is Lodge going to go wide?
It's
know.
coming to a theater near me on Friday. It's playing near Hunter at the Alamo now.
Oh, it is? I was just there.
I'm pretty sure. But
Check the app.
it's only playing at like one theater near me on Friday, if Fandango is correct.
Oh, I can get it on Friday at 7:30.
But I'm telling you, VFW is. We're going to do VFW at some point. So,
all right.
If it's tough, if we can all get and see The Lodge, let's just use it for the next week. And if not, then we'll.
Yeah, I just checked
plan
again.
for
There's
VFW.
there's nothing close enough to me.
Okay, then it's VFW.
VFW it is.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. People who are listening, let's share this episode. Let's get out there and spread the good word about Final Guys. Download that. Subscribe on iTunes. Give us some hits on YouTube. Share, tweet the link, retweet us. Help us get more fans.
Let me tell you, May will mark 3 years. If you don't help us, we're going home and taking all our toys.
That's right.
Yes.
And also, while you're out there, seriously, check out my new column on Cemetery Dance, because Cemetery Dance did a cool thing. I listed 20 animal movies you should see, like Night of the Lepus and Orca and Prophecy. They gave links to all of the trailers in there, too. So you can just spend an hour just watching trailers and having fun.
Oh, excellent. I got to check it out and see how many I've seen.
I bet you've seen them all. I do mention you in the article, Jack.
Ooh.
Kingdom of the Spiders.
Syncing up.
That's exactly. That's it exactly. Awesome. All right.
All right. Well, if that's it, then everybody in the chat room, thanks for showing up. We appreciate it. Sheridan, thanks for the drinking words. Yancey Street, you've been very active tonight. We're very happy. Thank you to Jason's dogs and the Prowler.
The dogs shouldn't be in the audio version. It should be okay. Maybe a little bit.
Hey, and special thanks to Cocksucker.
Yeah.
Not Jason this time.
Oh.
The book.
They're talking about me. Shit.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
And with that, it's time for Daddy to go to bed. See you next week.
Night.